All right, before we jump into making this hemp, honey, and oat ale soap, let's talk about what's actually going into it. Every oil and butter in this recipe has a purpose. Some of them bring bubbles, some bring creaminess, and others make the bar last longer or feel extra conditioning on the skin. So let's take a closer look at each one and why I chose them for this beer soap. Starting off with beeswax, it's going to give the bar a little extra backbone. It helps harden the soap, making it last longer in the shower, and it also adds a silky protective quality to the lather. Personally, I find it's very, very creamy, and I will include it in almost every batch of soap that I make. A small amount goes a long way in boosting longevity and giving that creamy, polished finish to each wash. Also, an extra added bonus about beeswax is it can help prevent the dreaded orange spots. Yes, indeed. All right, moving on to coconut oil. This is the workhorse of cleansing. It's what gives the beer soap its big fluffy bubbles and deep cleaning power. I balance it carefully with conditioning oils so it doesn't feel stripping. Just that perfect, clean rinse that you expect from a handcrafted bar. Next, we have palm oil, which brings structure and stability. It helps create a firm, long-lasting bar with a smooth, creamy lather that balances out the coconut oil's high cleansing nature. When used responsibly and sustainably sourced, classic base oil that adds reliability and performance to cold or hot process soaps. Next, we have shea butter. It's all about nourishment with shea butter. It's rich in fatty acids and vitamins that help protect and soften the skin, lending a luxurious creaminess to the lather. It also helps buffer cleansing power of the beer and surfactant-rich oils, leaving skin feeling moisturized rather than tight. Castor oil is my secret weapon for stable, creamy lather. It draws in moisture thanks to its humectant properties, and it helps keep those bubbles around longer. Even at a low percentage, it dramatically improves glide and creaminess, giving the soap a smooth, lotion-like feel. Avocado oil is full of vitamins A, D, and E, all great for skin conditioning. It adds a velvety richness to the lather while nourishing and softening the skin. It also plays beautifully with the beer element that I have in this soap. Next, we have hempseed oil that has been infused with hops, and this particular oil literally brings in the spirit of the beer theme. Hempseed oil is rich in omega fatty acids, which deeply condition and soothe the skin. The hops infusion adds natural antioxidants and calming benefits, tying the beer story all together while adding real skin soothing function. You will see in the video that I will be adding this as my superfat at the end of the cook. Next, we have olive oil that has been infused with comfrey. It's a timeless classic for gentle conditioning lather, but this one's been elevated. Infusing it with comfrey boosts its soothing, reparative properties, making it ideal for sensitive or dry skin. It brings mildness, moisture, and a soft glide to every wash. And the last oil that we have here is rice bran oil that has been infused with oats. It's rich in antioxidants and lends a silky smoothness to the bar, while the oat infusion adds calming, anti-itch benefits. So together, they round out the blend with a gentle, moisturizing touch that complements the creamy beer base perfectly. So without further ado, let's get making this soap, and I'll talk about the additives while I am adding them. All right, let's just get going, shall we? My melted oils are all ready to go here. To those melted oils, I am going to be adding some BHT. This is an antioxidant. This helps protect the oils from oxidation and extends the shelf life of the finished bars. A small but powerful antioxidant addition. Give that a good stir until the BHT is dissolved. Next, I'm going to prepare the lye solution, starting off with the distilled water. And then I'm going to be adding some granulated sugar. You want to stir this until it is fully dissolved. The sugar helps boost lather and gives the final soap that silky conditioning glide and helps with the bubbles. Once that is fully dissolved, I'm going to be adding tetrasodium EDTA to help chelate the minerals and prevent soap scum buildup and dreaded orange spots. You can use any chelator that you'd like, but tetrasodium EDTA works very well in high alkaline environments. Let's put on our safety gear. Make sure you have your glasses, your hands are covered, your forearms are covered, and then carefully and slowly we're going to start adding the sodium hydroxide to the water. This solution is going to heat up really quickly to almost 200 degrees Fahrenheit. This is normal. Just a little bit at a time. Don't just dump it all in at once. There will be fumes coming off of this as well, so make sure that you are in a well-ventilated area. Stir your oils and your lye solution. Check your temperatures at this point. The lye water should be between 180 and 190 degrees Fahrenheit, and the oil should be around 200 degrees. That's why this is called the high-temp hot process method. Let me just say this as well. Like I just said, this is the high-temperature countertop method of fluid hot process soap making, and that means that there's no external heat source being used, no oven, no crock pot set to cook, just the heat from the oils and the lye water themselves. Because you're working at such extreme temperatures, this is considered an advanced technique. If you're brand new to hot process soap making, please take the time to first master a traditional hot process recipe before you attempt this. You're going to need to be completely comfortable with very hot lye water and fast-moving soap batter. So once your temps are good, you add the lye slowly to your melted oils. Make sure you're wearing all your protective gear. Like I said, you're going to continue to stick blend until the batter reaches a very light trace. Then you're going to start adding your additives, starting with the reconstituted beer powder. I mixed this using part of the water portion from the formula, and let me tell you, it was sticky, gluey, and gloppy. It was a total mess, but it smells exactly like beer. I mean, it was really strong. Go ahead and stick blend that in until it's fully incorporated. And next I'm going to be adding my reconstituted honey powder, also made with a bit of the water portion. So honey adds humectant properties and a gentle golden color, but it can accelerate trace at high temp, so just keep blending steadily. But in fluid hot process, you want the batter to trace fast. And I don't know if I have mentioned this, probably not, but this is my very first time making fluid hot process soap. Next, we're going to be adding our homemade oat milk. This is going to add creaminess and soothing benefits to the final soap. I've made plenty hot process soaps in my day, but I have never made a fluid hot process soap so that I could do some swirls. I studied and researched for months with all of the additives, techniques, and safety measures needed to be able to pull this off, and you'll see in the end if I succeeded or not. Keep stick blending this until you've hit what is known as the applesauce stage. You can see how fluid this got from adding those liquids. We're going to stick blend continuously. We are looking to get to that applesauce stage. Again, there's no additional heat added here. This is just the heat from the lye water and the oils. This crock pot base is not sitting you know, inside the crock itself, the warming element of the crock. We're starting to get to applesauce stage now. You're going to visibly see a difference. It's still fluid, but it's starting to gain body. It's going to look like the oils and water are separating. It looks like applesauce. Keep stick blending until we start to get a thicker batter. We're starting to get to the mashed potato stage phase now. You can see the batter changing. See how thick this is now? Switch over now to a whisk. You're going to alternate at this point between whisking and short bursts of the stick blender as needed. At this stage, your batter is going to thicken relatively quickly, and the saponification reaction is going to ramp up pretty fast. And now we have reached mashed potato stage. Volcanoing should be happening any moment now. And here it goes. Do you see the batter rising? It's starting. So it's critical at this point that you do not walk away. The batter's going to rise up and overflow in that pot in seconds if you walk away. Use that whisk and mash it back down carefully. This volcano stage can happen 2 to 3 times. So just keep whisking and stay alert. Never turn your back. It's very dangerous. I'm not trying to be a scaremonger, but just be diligent. Keep an eye on it. Keep whisking. See, it's still rising. So this is the second time that it's volcanoing. I think it's a pretty cool reaction myself. I love science. Look at that. That's pretty fun. Mash that sucker back down. After your last volcano stage, the batter's going to calm down and take on like a translucent glossy look, and that is your Vaseline stage. At this point, the soap is going to be fully cooked and ready to go. But just keep whisking till you get to that stage. It's a lot of whisking, you guys. There you go. We are at Vaseline stage. It's starting. We're not completely there yet. You can see some of the translucent batter when I jiggle that around. Once you reach, you know, the Vaseline stage, that's how you know that it's done. There's no need to tongue test. That's old school and it's completely unnecessary. So once we are there, we are going to test the pH. Put a cover on that so you don't lose any moisture that we worked so hard to achieve. See, this is complete Vaseline now. You see how translucent this is? See through. You can see completely through it. That's Vaseline stage, and we're done. The cook is done. Give that a really, really good stir now. Scrape the sides. If you have any soap batter up on there, you want to mix that all the way down in there. Recover it again so we don't lose any moisture. And now we're going to take some distilled water and we're going to make a little 1% solution here with some distilled water and a little bit of the soap batter. I'm just taking it right off the whisk. Mix that in until it's relatively all dissolved, and then we're going to take the pH of that. It should fall between a 9 and a 10, and that's how you know that the soap is cooked. We are right between a 9 and 10, so we are good. The soap is completely cooked at this point. So now it's going to be time to start adding all of those additives that makes this soap so special. So I'm going to add my superfat, which is the hops-infused hemp seed oil, and this is going to add deep conditioning and ties beautifully into the beer theme. Remember, I talked about this in the beginning of the video. Real good stir to incorporate that. Next, I'm going to be adding room temperature full fat yogurt, and this is going to give the soap a creamier consistency. It also adds lactic acid, which helps with smoothness and mildness in the finished bar. After each addition, just make sure you incorporate it real good. Give it a nice good whisk. You want most of your additives to be at least room temp, if not warmed up. So next I am going to be pouring in warmed up sodium lactate. This is going to help with hardness and improve fluidity. After all, we are making a fluid hot process. We want this batter to be as fluid as we can get it so that we can do some swirls later on. Next, I'm going to be adding some warmed up sorbitol for even more conditioning and moisture retention. Also, I used some of the warmed sorbitol to mix my colorants in. Little tip with oxides and UMs, when you're using those for colorants in soap, if you add a few drops of glycerin, it will make the colors a little bit more smoother when you're mixing them into the batter. So I used the warmed sorbitol and a few drops of glycerin for the UM and the oxides that I used in this recipe. So the batter is pretty loose, very noticeably here, so that's exactly what you want, and ultimately what's going to make this the fluid hot process. So I keep my empty swirl containers sitting in a hot water bath so that they stay warm while I portion off the batter. I'm going to be separating this into 3 containers for the color swirls. I'm going to be using some titanium dioxide for one of the swirls, so half a teaspoon of that. And again, I used the warmed sorbitol and a few drops of glycerin because it's an oxide. It's just going to make it blend more smoothly. So now I'm going to start adding my other colorants to my portioned off containers. We're going to be doing gold, which is 1 teaspoon of yellow mica plus a pinch of copper mica. That's going to give it a golden highlight. Sure you use a spatula to get way down on the bottom of your container and scrape up all of that raw soap batter. We want all of this to be colored. And then after each color, I'm going to take the container and stick it right back into that water bath to keep that batter fluid as long as I possibly can. The next swirl color is going to be a deep amber, and I used a half a teaspoon of brown oxide plus a dash of red iron oxide. That's going to give it some warmth and depth. For this batch, also, I chose not to add fragrance because I really wanted to test whether that strong beer aroma from the reconstituted powder would carry through into the finished bars, and you'll see at the end whether or not that happened. You could use, for this particular batch, you could use, because it's hemp, honey, and oat ale, use oatmeal milk and honey as your fragrance oil. I think that that would pair really, really nice with this. But I really wanted just a beer-scented soap, naturally, from the beer powder. So take that cover off, give that main batch there a really good stir, scrape those sides, mix that all in. You're going to see in a minute just how fluid this batch is. I'm going to pour about 1/3 of this into the mold. Look at the fluidity, you guys. This is hot process. Look how fluid we were able to get that. Amazing. So now I'm going to follow that up with all of my colored portions for a drop swirl. Try to get that down into the mold, and look at how fluid those colors are too, because I kept them in that warm water bath. After you do all of your colors, take the rest of the portion of that main batch and pour that on the top. I cut the video and for whatever reason I didn't show that part, but I did pour the rest of the uncolored batch on the top there. Then you do the hanger swirl. I think next time I'm going to do my chopstick method of swirling. Now that I see that I can indeed achieve a fluid batter for swirling with this method, I will do my chopstick swirl. And here's a close-up. Beautiful, huh? Finish it off with a spritz of alcohol on the top after you texture it. Look at that. Looks like you could eat it. Gorgeous. So it has been 4 hours since I made the soap. I left it in the mold for 3 hours, and then I was able to unmold it after that. And then I've let it sit out here on my table for another hour. So let's cut into this and see what we did here on the inside. Now remember I said in the video that I did not scent this because I wanted to see if the beer fragrance would come through the soap, because that beer powder is extremely strong. I mean, it was very strong. And right now, the way things are, I can absolutely smell the beer, for sure. In 4 weeks from now, when this is ready to be sent out to my saponification tier level members, I don't know if it's going to still have this beer smell, but right now it sure does. It's pretty strong, I have to say. So that's good. All right, let's cut into this. Let's stop yakking. I'm dying to see what this inside looks like. All right, here we go. Feels just like CP soap when I'm cutting that. All right, the moment of truth. Let's take a looky-loo. You ready? Let's see if we got beautiful swirls with hot processed soap. You ready? What? What? Stop it. Stop it. Oh my Lanta, y'all. Come on. This is hot process. When have you ever seen swirls like this in hot process? This is crazy. All right. Okay, well, let's keep going. Let's see the next ones. This is insane. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is beautiful. And that's what happens when you do fluid hot process soap. You are able to create swirls like this. I've made many, many a hot process soap in my day. It's not my preference. I don't care for it, if I'm being completely honest. I just really enjoy the creativity aspect of cold process soap. But I've made many a batch of hot process, and I've never, ever been able to do this. this is fantastic. This is beautiful soap. And again, that beer smell is coming through loud and clear. So I'm glad that I went with the decision to not fragrance this. Wow, look at that. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at how beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Ugh. What I was going to say is, I think that a really good fragrance for a beer soap, well, this one in particular, because it's got oats, it's got honey, it's got a milk in it by way of that oat milk. So use oatmeal, milk, and honey fragrance oil for this. I think it would go really lovely. Look at the swirls though. I can't even. I'm speechless. I really can't even. Wow. Just beautiful. I'm shocked. I'm extremely shocked. Let's keep going. Boom. Nice. Really nice. I think the next time I try to do the fluid hot process, I'm going to go ahead and just do my regular swirl with my chopstick to see if I can get my usual designs that I like. But I am not mad at this. I am not mad at this. This is beautiful. Look at this. Fantastic. Gorgeous. Oh, just gorgeous. And it looks really nice and smooth too, you know what I mean? Like the texture of this is not lumpy. That's beautiful. Look at that. It's not lumpy or chunky at all, like you can see sometimes with hot process soap. This is completely smooth, just like cold process. And that little teeny bit of texture on the top of the soap there, again, that's not like rough and rugged like you see with hot process soap. It's just a nice texture like you would do with cold process soap. Oh, this is just gorgeous, you guys. Ah, I'm in love. Love, love, love. Beautiful. Really, really nice. And our last little piece here. Look at that swirl. Now, the end pieces don't look that great, you know what I mean? They're a little on the smooshy side, but look at that. That's fantastic. Oof. I can't even believe it. So what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Have you ever tried fluid hot process soap the way that I just did on the countertop with no additional heat? So it's really high temp, hot process. I don't know. There's so many abbreviations that people use these days. It's high temp, hot process, countertop. I don't know, whatever it's called. I had a blast doing it. It's a huge mess. I don't like that part. I have dishes from here to Kentucky. I'm not kidding you what. It's going to take me 2 hours just to clean up all these dishes. So I don't like that part of it at all. Hot process is an extremely messy process in my personal opinion. Like, I probably have 5 times the amount of dishes with this batch than I have ever had with a cold process, soap making. But it is what it is. I'm happy that I did it. It was a really nice experiment. I will say that I will not use beer powder again because of the fact that it's that maltodextrin and beer. And when you start to dissolve that and hydrate it into a liquid form, it's extremely thick, extremely messy. It's gooey. It's sticky. I just don't like anything about it. I would rather just use a regular bottle of beer. I will be doing that because, again, as I said in the video, one of my Patreon members had asked me to do a video on the differences between using regular beer or beer powder. So this was the one with the beer powder. It was extremely strong smelling once I reconstituted it. Very, very strong smelling. And so that's why I think that it is coming out, in the finished bar. Like it really, really smells like beer. Yeah, it really smells like beer. So I'm glad I went with the decision to not fragrance it. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today, okay? Give it a thumbs up, would you? Make a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. Subscribe if you haven't, and share it with anybody that you think could benefit from it, okay? That helps out the channel and helps me to be able to continue doing what I do to bring you recipes and videos and things just like this, okay? So thanks for hanging out today with me at Creation Station, and I will see you in the next formulation.